Hi folks. In this weekly overview video, I want to talk a little bit about the subject, which is APA. So the Unit 3A progress checkpoint is going to be a chance for you to test out some of the minor details of APA and make sure that you have a really good grasp on it. Over in O11, you're going to be turning in the Unit 3 thesis and outline planner as well. For the Unit 3A progress checkpoint in this course, what I want you to do is use the APA reference guide to complete a quiz on citations. I also would like you to read over a couple more articles about essay construction in general. So last week I asked you to read about the first steps in the writing process and creating introductions. This week I want you to look at body paragraphs and concluding paragraphs. So these are things that I want you to do as we prepare over the entire unit to get to the essay writing at the end in 101, where you will create the summary response final draft of the essay there. Another thing that we're going to need to do in that essay is use APA, because you will be incorporating sources from both the focus article, which is the one about pandemic remote learning, and the article that you found on the databases in Unit 2 to complement it. So we're going to need to pull sources. We're going to need to incorporate sources and quote from them and paraphrase them. And an important part of that is understanding how to appropriately cite them. So if we go and look at the Unit 3A progress checkpoint assignment details, you can see under the how that it says review the APA reference guide, then complete the open source citations quiz. So sometimes the word quiz stresses people out. I want to make it very clear right now that open source means that you can have this reference guide and the internet and your APA book and whatever else you need open in front of you. The purpose of this citations quiz is to help you understand how to cite. It's not to pop up and say, gotcha, you didn't know how to do it in this instance. It's also not to test to see if you've memorized every single scenario. In fact, expecting you to have memorized every single hypothetical situation in APA is impossible. That is not how APA is meant to be used. APA is a citation system. It is a guide. It is also incredibly variable, meaning that different types of sources will change the way that you incorporate information. If you have a quote that's longer, you need to make it a block quote. If it's a shorter quote, you format it a different way. If it's a narrative citation, you formulate it in a different way. If all of that is confusing you, stop, take a breath. It's going to be here in the APA reference guide. So the purpose of the quiz is not to necessarily grill you on the information. My interest is in making sure that you understand how to use your critical thinking to figure out what you need to in the moment. When you're out there writing papers on your own, you're going to be using sources. You're going to be Googling things. You're going to be looking at your reference guides to help you figure out what to do. So I'm not going to deny you that when you take the citations quiz. And since the purpose of it is to learn, you are also able to take it as many times as you like before Wednesday is up. So if you want to take this 4 times in a row until you get 100, I have no problem with that. I have switched the citations quiz to be unlimited submissions. So you can take this as many times as you like. Because the purpose of this is to learn, and I want you to understand what to do in different scenarios. So hopefully that puts you at ease if you are worrying about the quiz element. You are more than allowed to have this APA reference guide open. This is one of those modules like we have in the class. So you just want to click on Open New Window. And then it's broken down into different areas. A basic explanation of APA. What does an APA paper look like? What are APA style references about? How do I cite sources in my writing? Where do I find the information? How do I create a references page? How do I check my APA style? All of these articles are going to have information that you need. And I don't mind at all if you get to a question on this quiz and it asks you something like, the following is an example of a narrative citation. If you don't know what that means, I don't care if you Google that, because this is about learning. and figuring out how to do this on your own. Because I don't care if you have the formula memorized for what information goes inside of an APA in-text citation, as long as that information winds up in your paper. It doesn't matter to me if you have it written down on a million Post-it notes, or you look it up every single time, or you do have it memorized. The purpose of this quiz is to make sure that you're understanding some of the nuances of APA, which is why it's open source. You're more than welcome to refer back to this module. This APA Style Across the College is probably going to be one of the most helpful sources in terms of understanding APA, like giving you kind of like a breakdown. Like this section, required parts of the paper, rules for the paper, things like this are probably going to be pretty helpful. Just general information. So you're definitely going to want to have this open. But you can refer to any article in the module and you can Google this stuff. Totally fine with it. And you can take the quiz as many times as you like to try and get that 100. And that's what I want you to do this week.